What if I told you there was an alternative to the big five banks in Canada? What if I told you that alternative was very small and very round? What if I told you it was Tangerine? Tangerine Bank, of course, not the fruit. And this is actually a clementine. But I won't tell if you won't. Tangerine was one of the first banks to bring direct banking to Canada, which gave Canadians an introduction to virtual branchless banking. And the concept caught on very well. Tangerine is the most popular direct banking solution in Canada. The main benefit of this style of banking is that there are lower overhead costs, which means those savings get passed on to you in the form of lower fee accounts and higher interest rates. Now, this type of banking definitely sounds appealing, especially for a younger generation who I think are going to have different needs than what the big five banks are currently offering solutions for. But is Tangerine the right bank for you? In today's video, I'm going to break down the major aspects of banking with Tangerine so you can decide if it might be a good fit for you. Quick full disclosure, this video is in no way sponsored or affiliated with Tangerine. This is just my humble opinion. Let's start with product breakdown. Now, I want to say right off the bat that although Tangerine is primarily a digital-based bank, they do offer pretty much all of the essential services that the average person is going to require from their bank. This includes checking and savings accounts, credit cards, TFSAs, RRSPs, investment options, GICs, mortgages, home equity loans, and more. One of the best offerings from Tangerine is their checking account, which is a zero-fee daily unlimited transaction checking account. This checking account has unlimited transactions and zero fees associated with it. This means that you can also send an unlimited amount of e-transfers for free. I want to also point out here though that there are similar offerings from different companies, like the Wealthsimple Cash account that I did a video review on. You can check that out afterwards. And also companies like Simplii are going to be direct competitors to Tangerine in this case. Honestly, a no-fee unlimited checking account is a huge part of appealing to the next generation of people who are going to be using banks. And the big five major banks are going in the opposite direction of Tangerine and Simplii and some of the other newer companies. The big five banks are even increasing some of the fees on their checking accounts, which makes zero sense with this kind of competition going up against them. Next, let's talk about savings accounts. So Tangerine also has a pretty solid savings account where they're going to offer you an introductory promotional rate of 2.75% interest for the first 5 months. After that promo period, your interest rate drops down to 1.05%. Now, the 2.75% is a pretty attractive rate, but it is promotional, so you might actually want to shop around for some rates that aren't promotional, that'll be about just as high or sometimes even higher, that will be there to stay, at least for a longer period of time, hopefully. I'm going to put a link down below so you can compare what all the financial institutions are offering in terms of their high interest savings accounts. Next, let's talk about the debit card. So banking with Tangerine does come with a debit card. Now, you may be wondering, where can you actually use it because Tangerine doesn't have physical bank locations? Well, Scotiabank actually purchased Tangerine back in 2012. And also, as a fun little fact, Tangerine was formerly ING Direct. So since Scotiabank purchased Tangerine, that means you can use the debit card at any of Scotiabank's ATMs around the world for free. So this is something to keep in mind if you're going to be required to take cash out, that you have access to Scotiabank ATMs on a regular basis. Now, this is another very attractive aspect of banking with Tangerine, the credit card. They offer one of the best no-fee cashback credit cards. Now, a no-fee cashback credit card is great because it's essentially free cashback. There's no annual fee associated with the card, which means that any cashback rewards you get are just free for you to enjoy, assuming you don't run a balance and get charged for interest using the card. So they offer a no-fee cashback rewards MasterCard that has a pretty low requirement for approval. You only need to have $12,000 of annual income to apply. The card offers 2% cashback in 2 categories of your choice that they list on their website. Things like groceries, gas, that type of thing. Now, if you also have a savings account with Tangerine, they will allow you to bump that up to 3 categories that you can choose to earn 2% cash back in. Any spending outside of the categories you choose will also earn you 0.5% cash back as well. And they also offer a higher level credit card called the World Elite MasterCard that offers you essentially the exact same thing as the regular cashback card. You get those 2% cashbacks in the categories that you choose, but you also get some added travel perks and other things as well. For example, you get complimentary membership to Lounge Key, which gets you access to different airport lounges around the world for a small fee. Okay, so up until this point, everything's looking pretty good. I'm liking this Tangerine thing. But now I want to talk about what's a little meh. And we'll start with investment options. So Tangerine basically offers you these investment portfolios that you can invest in. They don't offer self-directed brokerage accounts, which means anyone who's looking to purchase stocks on their own or ETFs, index funds, that type of thing, you're not going to be able to with Tangerine. You're going to have to invest in their portfolios that they have available for you to choose from. Now, these portfolios are passively managed index portfolios, which is good, something that I definitely like, being an index fund advocate myself. But the problem with these funds is the fee. They charge 1.07% per year. This rate is just not competitive anymore with companies like Wealthsimple, who will provide you the exact same thing, a pre-built index fund portfolio, except they'll provide it cheaper. And even the major banks have come out with their own versions of these pre-built index fund portfolios, and they're offering them cheaper as well. Tangerine portfolios even got removed from the Canadian couch potato model portfolios. They got axed. So while I believe in the product, I believe in passively managed index fund portfolios, and even better if they're automatic so that you can stay on track easier, they just don't have low enough fees anymore to be competitive in the industry that is all about lowering fees right now. And the other thing that may annoy people is the lack of physical branches. Now, this may or may not matter to you specifically, but it definitely will matter to some people, depending on how much physical contact and intimacy you need with your bank. Ooh, I'm sorry, is it just me, or is it getting hot in here?
No.
You may want to pass on Tangerine. Some people either have more technical banking needs or they're more comfortable speaking to somebody face to face. That's totally okay and understandable. Our finances are a huge deal. If the trade-off in lower fees doesn't matter as much to you as being able to speak to somebody in person, then you may want to skip Tangerine and stick with a bank that offers you physical locations. Or if you have more specialized banking needs, again, Tangerine might also not be the best solution for you. Now, you also might be wondering, am I using Tangerine? I'm currently not using Tangerine for any of their services at this time. I'm currently using multiple different institutions for different things because I like to park my money in the best possible spot for it to do its thing. Personally, I'm keeping my eye on that Wealthsimple Cash account for a potential new checking account for myself because that 2.4% interest is really attractive, but I'm waiting for it to be fully fleshed out to see how it'll actually work in reality. I also have a main credit card that earns me more cash back than what the Tangerine credit card can offer me, and I also require a self-directed brokerage account, which again rules out Tangerine for me. I've said this in my other videos and I'll continue to say it. My situation is most likely going to be unique from yours, so don't just blindly follow me and do whatever I do. You need to decide what's best for you based on your own unique situation. And I hope that today's video helped out with that. So, what do you think about Tangerine Bank? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm Steve Antonioni, and this has been Cash College on Tangerine Bank. I'm gonna finish this Clementine now. It was all a lie.